All right, guys. For our last guest of the stream, we have a musician based out of ATX. He has his own unique style in music and over 19,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Daddy Nat. Caleb, that's your cue.
Yeah, no, I already clicked it.
Yeah.
As he connects, and we've been playing his music throughout the stream
Yeah.
quite a bit,
Throughout
so
the stream.
you already know what he makes good
What's up,
stuff.
boys?
What's
What's going
up?
on?
You guys see me? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey,
How you doing?
it's good, guys. I'm fantastic. I actually just got back from Galveston, so
Oh,
you
that's
know,
cool.
kind of got a little bit of a sunburn. If I don't know if you guys can see that. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
how y'all doing?
Great.
good. A little tired, but we're good.
Yeah.
Dude, I know. So you guys been doing this for 10 hours, 12 hours
Yeah.
now?
Well,
Yeah, we're
11
already
hours.
11 hours in.
Yeah.
So
this is our
That's
last
fucking
little
awesome.
hour.
Hey, no, I'm closing it out. All right, cool.
Yeah, man. Whew, okay. Caleb, do you want to kind of get into a little background or you want me to just go into the questions?
Go right into it, man.
All right, cool. So Austin's a really big area and we know you're from the Austin area. So what part of Austin are you
For
from?
sure. So actually, man, I grew up in East Texas. So I grew up in like a small town in Athens, Texas, close to Tyler, Texas. And yeah, you guys ever heard? Are you guys from Texas? I know
Yeah.
you live in
I'm
Round
not.
Rock. Are y'all from Texas?
I'm
I'm
from
not.
Texas.
Right on.
I actually know exactly where Athens is. I don't know why, but I do.
No shit. Yeah, man. It's kind of a small town, but it's a really kind of town where you didn't have much to do other than, for me, make music at the time. So kind of grew up there and then moved to Austin after I finished college. And yeah, man, have been here for about 6 or 7 years, live in Northeast Austin and kind of just been in the East Austin area for a little while.
Mhm.
What part of Round Rock are you guys in?
17. All I know is like
All over?
There's different-
It's like
there's
all over
different
Round Rock.
parts. I'm not from here, so I have no idea.
I'm pretty
I
sure
feel
we
you.
live on the northern side of Round Rock. We both
Yeah,
do.
Got you.
Just on the kind of ish border of Pflugerville.
I got to come through
Yes.
then, bro. Northern Round Rock.
I think I'm not
We'd
sure.
love to have you once
Um,
we get the studio back up and running.
Yeah, man. I was checking out some of your vids. It's pretty cool what you guys got going. I like the flow of it, man.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you guys were. I know you found me on the internet. I was like, I had no idea you were that close. I was like, damn, bro,
Yeah.
got some fellow TikTokers around me.
Yeah, I found you through TikTok and I think I DM'd you through there. And then I realized that you're actually from Austin. And then we started talking a little bit back and forth.
Yeah, man.
It was really cool to see. And that you agreed to come on here for this charity event. It's amazing. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Of course. No, I appreciate you guys having me for sure.
Of course. I know because I remember Logan told me that he got Daddy Nat to come on. I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then he played some of your music, and I will say, ever since he showed me it, every time we were up late at night working on stuff to work out for the stream, we've had it playing in the background.
Mhm.
It really is good stuff.
Bro, thank you guys so much, man. I
Yeah.
really mean that. So yeah, man. I've been in Austin for a few years. You know, kind of played in the rock and roll scene for quite some time. And I gotta say, man, thank you guys so much for playing my music because this stuff is different. I'm making it at a computer as opposed to going to bars and playing it as much, you know. And it's a different experience, and really leveraging the internet and like you finding me on TikTok. I feel like is just an example of that. I've really kind of like leaned in to the socials, if you will, and like tried to figure out that game out. And it's cool, man, because it's really reached more people with my music than ever. And I legitimately would have never had this opportunity come up if I hadn't, tried to post it all over the internet. So shouts out to the internet.
Yeah, definitely keeping us all connected, especially during a time like this.
Of course.
All right, and
I didn't mean to go on a tangent there. I do
It's all
genuinely want to thank you guys for listening to my
It's all
music,
good.
in the late evenings.
Of course. I mean, it really it's great stuff to play, and it really is it keeps the mood going, keeps the vibe going.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like it, man. That's awesome.
All right, and then move on to our second question. How early on in your life did you gain a love for music?
Man, that's a great question. So I started, man, I sang out of the womb. Like my mom always tells me, like as soon as I was I would be singing, or I would like listen to those Disney movies, you know, like we'd watch a whole like slew of different Disney movies growing up. And I'd always be like, oh, that's that song from X Disney movie or this. I just always was like really aware, you know what I mean? For whatever reason. And I didn't really become a musician per se. Like that was really like my real youth, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, something like that. As I got older, I started to get to a point where I was like, man, I want to learn guitar, or I wanted to learn piano, or I wanted to learn these different things. And, you know, I didn't really have the work ethic to do it. So I would always like pick up, all right, go get a guitar. And then it would, you know, sit in the closet for 6 months before I pick it up again. And eventually just kind of like a collective of my friends and I all started playing guitar. And then I also sang. I did like choir and stuff like that, but I never really thought of myself as a lead singer per se. And one of my friends was like, hey, we need a lead singer for our band. We were called the Suffocating Vegetables, and we formed when I was about 12 years old. So yeah, wow. Dude, it was like straight AC/DC covers and stuff like that. And that's whenever I really fell in love with like, like people go crazy when you play music. And if you can do it right, you know, it's obviously very difficult, but you know, it can move people. And so it's kind of been a passion since, you know, around then, I'd say always, but really picked up around 12 to 13 or so.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. You gained a love for music that early on. Like that.
Dude, yeah. A lot of people I know, dude, so many of the guys who I work with, like, they'll be 12 months, 13 months into music. And I'm like, damn, that must be such like a fresh perspective as well.
Yeah. And that does lead into the next question of like, what made you want to pursue a career in music? And I guess you've always had it in you that's what you wanted to do for your career.
Yeah, man. I think it's look, I'm definitely not opposed to getting my hands dirty and, you know, working. I've definitely worked a lot of day jobs to to support this passion. But yeah, man, I think it's always been one of those things where you have to man, you got to sacrifice a lot. If you want to be an entertainer, if you want to be a musician, you have to get your hands dirty in like a different way. You know what I mean? I think so many people are confused, particularly the older generations, when they look at music, they're kind of like, man, you know, how do you do that? Or how do you make it, right? Apart from maybe going out to LA. And I think now it's like, you really just have to grind for it. Like if you want to be an entertainer, or you want to be a podcaster or a musician, or an artist really of any kind, like it takes a lot of work, you know what I mean? And so I think it's just been one of those things that I've naturally been inclined to, and naturally had a love for it, which is why I've kind of worked so hard to get to where I am today.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, it is true what you're telling us. It's like, yeah, like with starting this up, we've had a lot of hard work to do. Like even getting the equipment we needed is like,
and just learning the different stuff, you know, it's you really have to get reps. Like you really have to just go do it and figure, like slowly but surely pick up the pieces. You know what I mean?
And we kind of just figure it out as we go along, and it gets better the more we do it.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. So how long have you guys been running this podcast, by the way?
Not long.
Not long at all. When did we pick it up? Like,
that's cool.
Since March? The start of quarantine, right?
Yeah, it's
no way. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
it's like a couple weeks before we got like the stay-at-home order.
Yeah,
it was when we finally decided, like, hey, let's make this happen, because it was the idea we had for a little over a year. And we're like, let's do it. And we finally sat down and did it. And then the quarantine was absolute coincidence.
Well, dude, it's I've actually thought there's a lot of creators who have embraced creating during this. I mean, what else are you going to do, bro? You know, you're just going to sit at home and kind of be upset about not being able to do stuff. It's a cool way to be proactive. You know what I mean? And in a very unique way, where you kind of, the only way to be proactive is by kind of leveraging the internet in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So Two Dudes Talking, though, is it basically just you guys shooting the shit, kind of just hanging out, man?
It is what it is. When it comes to the name, we were kind of just thinking, I think it was around midnight, trying to think of a name. And we were just like, I think I still have the old notes of different names. And we came across Two Dudes Talking, or Two Dudes on a Couch. And then we're like, Two Dudes Talking sounds good, because that's basically what we're doing. And we're trying to make our podcast different from other podcasts by having it live as we are right now. Like all of our podcasts are live, and we interact with the chat, talk to them, have them talk to us, ask us questions and stuff like that.
That's rad, man. No, I think I also love the aspect of live as well. Like I've been doing this content series on my YouTube channel where I
Yeah, I've
just go
seen it.
live and truly just, yeah, thank you so much, man. Truly just show off a little bit of my creation process.
Hmm.
And you're right, dude. You approach it a little differently. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, well, I got to be on point and as on
Yeah.
point
Right.
as I can be, right?
Right.
So that's cool. That's rad.
Also, so whenever you did decide to like pursue this career in music, like who was the main, uh, who was there along the way that really helped you and pushed you along?
Yeah, man. I think my parents have always been supportive, but like in an interesting way, I suppose, in a way where I think I think a lot of my music that I've made today, like they love One Night, but like a lot of the other songs that I have, right? There's so many of them that they're kind of like, well, I see what you were going for with it there, but they're not going to bump it in their car. So I think
Yeah.
it's
Right.
been an interesting thing because when I was doing the rock and roll stuff, when I was just like playing guitar and written a lot of songs, and I did that for a long time and had some decent success with it. They were much more in tune with that. They were like, oh, I kind of understand, the style of this music they're going. It was kind of rock music for the most part, so they understood that a little bit more. But they have certainly supported me the most along the journey, although they don't always understand, like, where what I'm, the modern music kind of,
Yeah.
Right.
thing. Uh, but yeah, man, I would say my parents. I would say, um, you know, I've just, in a weird way, of course, my family, of course, my friend group, but in a weird way, it's kind of just felt like always been that thing that I was like, I just got to go for that. You know what I mean? And I think in a lot of ways, like, I've always had the support group to say, go do it. But I've
Hmm.
also always had the drive to be like, this is what I want to do. And it takes a little bit of both of that, right? Because if I would be a little hesitant on it, you could imagine how your parents would be like, well, maybe you do want to go down a safer route, or maybe you do want to go try these other things, right? And fortunately, they've all been like, nah, go get it. So
Right.
it's yeah, family, man. I would have to say they're probably the strongest supporters, and of course, friends, girlfriends, everybody has been super supportive over time.
Hmm.
I know whenever we
So
first started this, me and Logan, of course, our biggest supporters were our parents. Because once we told them that we were going to do it, we told them that we were all in, we're going for it, we're like,
Yeah,
this is what we're doing. So they fully got behind that.
yeah, and
that's awesome,
just
man.
to intervene real quick, Madison in the chat says his music is pretty good. Not gonna lie. So there's that.
Cheers, Madison. Appreciate you.
So a question is we have you talked about you made rock and you just kind of did like guitar stuff and different things like that, and now you're kind of
Sure.
transitioning in a way, but do you feel that you have a specific genre that you lean towards when making music, or just whatever sounds good to your ear?
So yeah, I really, this has been something that's been difficult for me for a long time, right? Because that's kind of why I left rock and roll, is that I was very siloed in the music that I played there. But as time has gone on, I'm pop. I think I am pop in a way, but I'm not. I'm trying to bring almost like a blend of California and Texas together, if you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like
I
Yeah.
I
feel
still
that.
want the grit of Texas, but I want to have maybe just the modernness and the in-tuneness that California brings to the table. You know what I mean? So much music kind of comes out of there. But in general, in terms, I mean, I would say pop, but I'm never going to go to the studio to write something and have any sort of like, you know, label around what I'm going to create. I
Mhm.
will make a hip hop song, I'll make a country song, I'll make whatever. Just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. And the funny thing is, man, is like they always end up sort of sounding like Daddy Nat. Like, I have a lot of music that's going to come out in the future, but the stuff that rises to the top is I identify with it in a weird way. And it probably is pop if we were just going to call it that, but it's I'm happy to dabble and blend and kind of bring in other elements. I'm a huge hip hop head, love hip hop, uh, love pop music for the most part as well. But I also listen to Americana and country from time to time,
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. So I just soul music, just try to keep it flowing. And I think on my album Leisure Lane that I dropped just like I think it was December 31st. So it was like the tail end, last day of 2019. I tried to that was like my whole mission. It was like, let me just throw in a bunch of different genres that I have, and showcase what I have. And, people will say what they like and what they don't like, and it's all good.
I did get that vibe from listening to the album. I got a mix of different things, and I really liked it. Like, I don't really have many bad things to say, honestly.
I appreciate you, man.
I like the uniqueness of it, and I do understand what you're saying. Like a little bit of California, a little bit of Texas. You do hear that in the music, and that's why I like it. It's very unique. It's very interesting. I love listening because it's like something I've never heard before, and that's why I'm personally drawn towards it.
Man, I really appreciate that. That's what I'm going for, man. It's really just to showcase, Daddy Nat. It's to showcase me, and I think a lot of artists get caught in the wave today of what's popular, and they can get popular from that. I've had a lot of friends who kind of made a track that maybe was more similar to something that was popping right at that time. That's a lot of artists do that. And I try to not do that if possible. I just want it to be authentic.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, although it sounds like music has always been some part in your life, but was there any point in time where you weren't doing music? Like, what were you doing? Technically, what were you doing before music?
Yeah, man. So that's a really cool question. So, again, I played music since I was like 11 or 12. So before that, man, I mean, I don't know, Pokemon, something like that. But right, like if I'm being honest, right. But as I got older, there were a couple times, man, where music kind of left me for a little bit. Now, I'll be completely honest, it has only continued to ramp up for the last about 10 years of my life. But I'm 28 now, so kind of makes sense. 18 is when I started really pursuing it, and it's just continued to evolve. Whenever I was maybe 15, 16, 17, in high school, so many things I'd get distracted with. I would, whether it be just social scenes or whether it be me, I got really into wakeboarding for a while. I was like, thought I was going to be a pro wakeboarder or something. I have these little tangents that I'll go down over time. But as time has gone on, I just always drift back to music. It's kind of just a weird thing where you start to learn stuff about yourself, and you're like, oh yeah, that is my favorite thing to do. I guess I'll just keep doing that. No matter how much I try to deny it or do something else, it keeps popping up.
Yeah. So it's kind of like music is your calling, and it'll always be around with you.
Yeah, man, I think that's 100% true. I think I'll be writing songs or doing music regardless if I'm working at a dollar store for a living. You know what I mean? Like, I will be doing it no matter what. And just kind of, it's a release, man. It's really like expression in a way that I can't really describe other things. You know what I mean? I can't really articulate in another way.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm sorry to cut you off, Logan, but
you're good, man. Go for
but
it.
like, I mean, we both understand that because I mean, at a point in time, we both played the trumpet. I mean, I played a little longer than Logan, but
no way.
Yeah, but I understand that it's a form of expression. It really is helps, especially as I got older and I grew up playing the trumpet. It really was an outlet for me to like almost not always express how I feel, but just express how I was feeling that day. I wanted to make this sound, so I made it. And even now, I stopped playing the trumpet in the past couple of years, but during quarantine, I picked up and I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar right now.
Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah, well, there's just, that's the cool thing is like once you learn the chords, anybody can go kind of eventually learn the chords, but it's then how do you like put your own twist to it, or how do you make, one note resonate a bit longer than the rest? You know what I mean? It's a fun thing. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize you, Logan, are you picking up any music during quarantine?
No, not really. I'm not.
Sorry, I'm calling you out, I guess.
Nah, I'm just not musically inclined. I used to try to play guitar, and then I dropped that for a little bit. I played trumpet for a couple years, and then within all the
brass is hard, bro. Brass and wind instruments are hard, really hard.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of
fun.
It
was fun.
Me and Caleb played alongside each other for a little bit until I moved.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I feel like this next question kind of answers itself from what we've been talking about, but what do you feel makes your music different from others?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think I've been doing it long enough, you know, and man, I've been doing this for a while. You know, there's several bands that I've been in where I thought, you know, I mean, I did all kinds of stuff, shopping record deals, doing, you know, going to thinking I was going to make it a lot, you know what I mean? And having that kind of like belief that, oh, bro, it's all, I'm solved, you know, it's game over. I'm about to make it. Life's about to be rock. That happened a lot. And I think that over time, I realized that, like, you know, I was really chasing something as opposed to just dialing in my craft and just dialing in and getting reps and going over and over and over again and making something. And when you do that enough, like, you can only sound like Lil Baby on like so many tracks. You know what I mean? Like, you can only sound like Post Malone on so many tracks if you really start exploring stuff. And I still am, you know, I don't think I've peaked yet. I don't think I will. I don't know if I will, you know what I mean? Who knows? Right. Like, I'm always striving for something more. So yeah, I hope what makes my sound unique is that I'm just telling a story that couldn't be told by anybody else. You know, I'm bringing a blend of elements that nobody else is going to just go naturally select. You know what I mean? It's going to be authentically me, because it's something that I'm not just going to have some producer send me a song that, hey, this is a pop song, like, let me get you on this. It's for me, it's much more about, do I actually vibe with this? Would I actually listen to this in a car? Would I actually go somewhere and you know, whether it be a party or a friend's house or out on the lake or whatever it is, like, would I really bump this? And does it tell my story? So
Yeah, I feel like that's really great, because a lot of musicians nowadays just kind of go with whatever's popular or whatever's trending and just try to push things out and try to get it popular. But I really do feel the authentic vibe of what your music brings to the table, and the lyrics and just the way that it's produced is really great. And I feel that when I'm listening to it.
I appreciate that, man. And I have to shout out my producer. So I do have a guy in Austin. His name's Brian Ray. Goes by Lonely Child. That's like his, you know, artist name. So yeah, he's helped me produce a lot of these songs. And that was kind of the thing, is I left the band, found Brian, and I was like, yo, I've got a lot of this stuff. You know, I know how to produce. I know how to make songs. I know to do this, but like, I really want to take it to that next level. And then we linked up. So I still collab, and I'm sure you guys feel this as well. Like, having that partner in crime to keep you not only accountable, but push you further and keep you going. Like, that's huge. Like, I'm still a collaborator. I just, you know, right. I can't, running a band's hard.
Yeah, definitely having someone there to go through the process with you does help. That's what me and Logan have discovered.
Definitely.
That, you know, we're always constantly pushing each other. With it being one thing or another. I'm sorry. It's been over 11 hours.
Nah, dog. Y'all, I can tell y'all are tired, bro, but it's all good, man, because I'm with you, bro, because I'm just like, 11 hours of stuff, dude. It's been, you know, 20 minutes for me. I'm like,
vocab was lost at hour like 6 or 5.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Gone out the door.
Yeah, but I mean, we're always trying to, make what we're doing different. Like, we're steady trying to interact with the chat. Like, before we started the stream, my hair was black, and so
bleached his hair this stream.
That happened. I said,
beautiful. I like that, dude.
Yeah, we started.
I mean, it looks good, so you know. It looks good, so you know.
Thank you.
You did well.
It turned out a lot.
I don't know who bleached it for you.
My sister did. She did it while on the stream.
Yeah, we were interviewing one of our friends, and she's just bleaching his hair away.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, because I set a goal. We were at 59 followers, and I said if we get to 80, I'll bleach my hair. Right now, we're at 187.
Yo, that's awesome, man. Yo, that's awesome. Well, that's the way to do it, man. Shit, I'm on TikTok all the time trying to figure out what that next trend is to, like, let it go off, man. And it's I mean, you know, for me, it's just that opportunity to, you know, take it to that next level, right? Everybody's on TikTok today.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I enjoy the Alexa rapping videos.
Man, it is so funny. Like, I've got, like, me and my buddies one day were just like, man, what can I do with it? I was like, I don't know. I got this Alexa sitting over here, and I think I was like watching Gary Vee, and he wouldn't shut up about how, like, voice technology is the future and all this stuff. I was like, I got an idea. Let me blend these things together here.
Yeah, it worked out really well for the video. It was good.
I appreciate that.
Very entertaining.
All right. Yeah, but also, so you're talking about how you're trying to make it different while you're making your music. What does your process look like when you're producing or writing or even playing your music? Like, what does your process go through your head? What do you do and all that?
Sure, man. I mean, I think, for me at first, it's really just all about searching, like looking for that. Like step one is just to search. And what I mean by that is, it's really easy to get almost like scientific and like mathematical and or romantic about how the process should be done when you go into music. So many musicians do have a process, and processes work really well. But for me personally, it's just kind of, where is that sound, or what is that instrument, or that vocal tone, or that drum that moves me in a way that I'm like, oh, okay, I can build something cool off of that. It kind of gives me that idea. From there, I'll usually construct some sort of rough, like instrumental, so to speak. So you kind of, I'll put in a bass, I might put in some percussion elements, I might put in some, different melodies over that. And then from there, I really let my voice do the rest. So I'll just kind of, whether it be freestyle over it, whether it be write lyrics out, I'll do that. And then from the song kind of just presents itself from there. So I'll build out one piece of the song that I like really well, like a chorus or a verse, and then it's just a matter of kind of, okay, well, these chords would go good for the verse in this section. And I've done it so many times now, man, that it's there's like a, you build out a verse, you build out a chorus. It can be the same. So many, there's so many songs that I've written now where I listen at song, 200 compared to song 80. You'd be like, oh, there's a lot of similarities between these two songs. But I'll, just continue to kind of just power through it. And at the end, it'll be rough, but I'll say, okay, now I have a structure, a verse, chorus, um, maybe a bridge of some sort, and then say, okay, well, I've got my melodies down, I've got my vocals down. Now let's just sharpen this up and kind of take it from a rough draft to a final edit, like you would writing a paper or something like that.
I like that
Sorry about my
how he's
dog.
like, it's like you hear something you're like, it's like I like that. I'm gonna roll with that. That's a good process to have towards like that's cool. Let's see what I can do with that. It
Yeah,
sounds like a very fun process.
and and again, it's not always fun. Nobody will tell you that anything you do for a living is very difficult to make always fun. But
Right.
if you're, making music, at least then you're just like, oh, I really vibe with that. Like, let me just let this naturally progress from here. Sometimes stuff still gets forced, but
Yeah.
it
And
moving.
on your YouTube channel, Side Hustle, with your series that you have going on where you live stream what you're doing, it's really cool to see that process because you're live streaming you going through like what you're going with that song. I was watching one, I can't remember when it was, the last episode. And it was really interesting to see the thought process that goes into it and what happens and technology not doing what you want.
That's right, man. Dude, live streaming is a whole nother animal. I'm much like you guys where I was just like, I'm gonna dive in the deep end and then, see how it works. But yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to convey with those episodes. It's just there's so many artists that want to be very, if they do go on live stream, they're doing like a very robotic sort of approach to it. It's like, let me just make the same beat over and over again. But there's not a lot of people out there who are showing like the entire process of them making a song. Tory Lanez does it actually pretty well. I've like watched a few of his live streams where he'll just go legit make a song. Although he's not producing, he's just doing vocals. It's still cool. I'd love to see more artists kind of just be straight up and be like, yo, this is kind of how it goes. It kind of starts off cool, and then they do some things, and they might be cool, they might not be cool, but eventually you get to something at the end that makes a song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, brain froze.
To
Okay.
lean back. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are gonna like crash out as soon as this. I mean,
Oh yeah, once it's
you
done,
don't
I'm
film
gone.
yourself
But-
sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in for a good cause. We've been raising money for this charity, and it's going pretty great.
It's Habitat for Humanity, right? Is that what you were
Yeah.
saying?
Habitat for
I
Humanity
love that
of
place,
Williamson
man.
County. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
awesome. Yeah.
What we're doing with this stream is we're focusing on one future homeowner, Kelsey, and her two children. They're building a home in Round Rock, hoping to get started again in August. So we just kind of contacted them and made this all happen. And then
That's
in
incredible,
August,
man.
yeah, in August, me and Caleb are actually going to go to the house and help build as well, so we can
No way.
help out with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can just to
Cool,
help out
yeah.
a great cause.
That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I've always known, Habitat for Humanity as just being a place that I've always gone and donated a bunch of stuff there. So it's kind of been a place where it's like, whether I'm replacing stuff in my home or whatever it is, there's just a place that you can go donate there. Also a place that I'll go and donate to, whether I'm buying stuff or the like. So that's really cool, man. It's a great cause.
Yep. I can't remember whose question it is.
I'll take it.
Brain's gone. You go.
Caleb, you got it.
So, what do you say is like what has inspired you most in your career? Like, what really, I don't want to say is your motivation, but what do you draw inspiration from?
Yeah, no, cool question. I think it's a combination of two things. One is that there really is nothing that can beat one single person that you've never met before reaching out to you and just being like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your music." Like that's like, I don't even, it's insane. It's really, really cool that the internet has provided this way to just go post stuff online and then it to reach people and move them. There's just nothing cooler than that. But that in combination with the feeling and the satisfaction I get from making a song. When you make something cool, it'll be stuck in my head for days. And like, there's just nothing I can do to get it out of there. And I like that. You know what I mean? It's like I've discovered something. It's like a gold miner going and finally finding some gold. You know what I mean? It's a really cool sort of like, you're always one hit away. You're always one song away from finding something that you really, really enjoy and that connects with people in that perfect way. And so that kind of pursuit mixed in with, the incoming fans that I have and who have connected or I've helped or I've touched in any way. That does it for me, man. I think it's that combination, right? It's definitely not, money, or it's definitely not, the clout. It's really just the ability to do what I feel like I was meant to do and to get appreciation for that, man. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
I know Logan would agree with me when I say
Logan,
that.
you got this, bro.
Come on, Logan.
I'm gonna make it. I didn't see when I try to transition into a question. It's like, oh, y'all gonna keep talking.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna say this one bit, then you can get the next question in.
I'm changing up this last question because what we originally have is kind of obsolete.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. We really just kind of freestyle it as we go along. It's more of a
I love
guideline.
it, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think Logan would agree with me when I say that having people say that they like what we're doing and they support us, what we're doing is a huge inspiration, because at a certain point, if we stray away from our original goal, it's like, oh, we want to do this really for us. We're doing this for us. That was our original goal. And if our headspace gets away from that, we can always look to like, oh, we can do it for them too, because like they enjoy what we're doing. They love coming and tuning into the streams and talking with us. And we talk about what's going on. It's just have a place where everyone has a voice. Where, as I know, me and Logan throughout life, it's like we've always been the quiet guys, so we always felt like our voices weren't always heard. So this platform gives us somewhere to speak, and for other people that feel the same way can come and speak to us, and we'll listen to them.
That's right, man. No, I think that's they keep you accountable. You know what I mean? You might inspire yourself to go do it, but the fans will keep you accountable. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are like, oh, until I have this amount of followers, I'm not an influencer yet or whatever. And it's like, dude, that's not how you do anything good in life, right? You know what your grandfather would have done if 187 people, if you went from 39 or 59 customers to 187 customers in one day or whatever, you know what I mean? Or fans of any sort, like that's insane. And so I'm with you, man. They keep you accountable, and it really keeps me motivated.
Yeah, I feel that. Logan's mic stopped working. That's been a problem towards the end of the stream. His cord is a little finicky to where if it gets moved in the wrong position, it'll cut out.
Ah, bummer.
And we haven't had
plug it back in.
Yeah, and we haven't had a chance to get him a new one just because the quarantine.
Sure. It's a
And then
Yeti, right? Little Yeti mic or whatever.
yeah, we both got
Yeah.
Yeti snowballs.
I'm
I
back.
love it, man. Boom.
I'm back. Yeah.
There he
Awesome.
goes.
So we have. We actually, when we were buying stuff for the setup, we really cheaped out. We went to pawn shops and got these. I mean,
Oh, dude, that's the way, man. So I have a Yeti Blue microphone here as
Yeah.
well, just so
Yeah.
you know.
got the big boy.
But I did, dude. I had to get the big boy, but I also got this. I think I got it off Facebook Marketplace, actually. So I was like, dude, I always save a few bucks, you know?
Exactly.
Pawn shops,
Yeah.
that's the way to go,
Like,
bro. Dude,
the
pawn shops
webcam
are
that I'm using,
underrated.
I got it in a bundle.
Yeah, and
There
every
you
time
go.
we
Hell
went
yeah,
to
man.
every time we went to the pawn shop, I refused to pay the price they had marked on there. You can ask Logan. I was like,
He
it's
was
not
not
worth
the
this.
money.
I was like, it's not worth this flat out.
Yeah.
They'll skimp you over there, bro.
Knowing
Yeah,
I only
definitely.
have $20 in my pocket and it's like $60, I was like, I'm not paying this for this. So you got to bring it down.
Mhm.
It was like I can do 30. No, I only got $20.
I can
He's
do
like,
25.
all right.
I've just got $5 extra. That's how it was. We were trying
That's
to bring
epic.
down. We were trying to bring down the price of Caleb's mic, and it was around like what 45, I think it
It
was.
was like 45.
Caleb
and
was
I-
like, I got 20 in my pocket right now. She's like, well, I can bring it down to 30. He's like, I got 20 in my pocket right now. She's like, I can do 24. Caleb was like, I just got $4 extra.
I was like, I just found $5 more.
It was
Oh, that's epic. Nah, man,
Yeah.
that's the way you do it. I love how you guys were just like, yo, let's just get this off the ground. All we need is a mic and a webcam, and then we can
Yeah.
start, man.
Mhm.
It's really cool. It's really, really
Yeah.
cool. That's epic, though. The fact you guys started this literally like 2 months ago, I feel like you guys have gotten a lot more natural, probably at just chatting back and forth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it
Definitely.
takes a little while, bro. It does take a little while before
Does
you
take
get
some time.
Still not there at all. But our
Nah.
It's
first
better than when
couple-
we started.
the
Y'all
first
killed
night
it.
that we
Y'all
did
killed
this
it.
was horrible. So Caleb, do you want to run through what happened our first night?
Oh,
With
the
It was like
headphones.
midnight when we tried to do this.
so
Okay.
I have a pair of like true wireless earbuds, and like
Okay.
you can use them like on phone calls because they have microphones in them. So I thought that would work because the first one we didn't stream it. We were gonna record it then upload it. So like I set my camera up
Oh.
and I popped in the headphones. I had one, he had the other, and they have microphones in them. So I was like, oh, it's gonna catch our voices. We talking. It's gonna record it. Boom. We recorded around an hour of us talking.
Hour of us just talking.
Look at the video.
Nah.
Headphones weren't working, so it was picking up from the phone that was 15 feet away from
It was
us.
so bad.
Oh, that's funny as hell, bro. No, I've totally
Yeah.
done the same thing. You like put on, you're like, oh, this audio's great. Oh no.
I would listen to it, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so depressing. You're like, dude, we had some good shit on that. You know what I mean?
I was like, that's some good stuff right there. Let's go. Look at it like this is
yeah.
unusable.
We had notes ready that we were gonna have different topics that we were talking about. We did the whole thing. We were like, that was great. Let's listen to it. No, that was horrible.
It's like
Yes,
well,
it happens.
you know,
Yeah.
you live and you learn, right? You weren't gonna make
Exactly.
that mistake again. So
Exactly.
exactly.
And
You gotta work
the first guest that we had on, we had some struggles with that.
Yeah, that was
We've got
rough
it all
too.
figured out now. We tried to do that through Discord. That was a mistake.
Yeah. Should just use
oh yeah, man. I was gonna say, so Zoom is the easiest, I guess, for you guys. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah, I've obviously I've used Zoom a few times, but like I've heard various feedback. I was like, oh, you'd be on Discord because I guess you can like share the screen a little bit easier or something. But
Mm-hmm.
glad to hear Zoom is working good.
Yeah. Discord just doesn't really work out with me.
Yeah, because it's a heavier program.
Yeah.
Like
that's
on the
true.
technical side, it's a heavier program, so it takes a lot more processing to
Oh,
run.
I got you.
Yeah. Same
Zoom
as
is super
like
light.
Google
I got you.
Hangouts, like Skype, Google Hangouts,
Ah, right.
all that. Yeah. Even though Zoom had a little few faults.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a security breach.
Getting by.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
We're
right.
still going strong. Still going strong. So I have another question. Out of all your projects that you made, what do you feel has been like the most fun to make or your favorite?
Okay. Well, so I've actually had a lot of fun with the songs on Leisure Lane. I think like, you know, all those, they're so different. And when I came to Brian, so I don't know if you heard the song 19, that was the first
Yeah.
song that we wrote together. And then the next song was, I think, Realize. And as I went through these different songs, it was almost like I was going from genre to genre with each song. And there wasn't necessarily like a deliberate style that I was going to. And what I just kept saying was, you know, let's see where we're at song 50. You know what I mean? Let's see where we're at song 60. Let's just keep going with it. And eventually this stuff will start to make a little bit more sense from your perspective, because he's used to working with more traditional rock artists, more traditional pop artists, less of sort of the genre bending stuff. And then as time went on, man, we really just let it, we spent a while just sitting and marinating on these different songs. We threw a bunch of stuff at the wall, and we really didn't judge it until it was done. You know what I mean? We didn't really give it that huge critique. There was a lot of stuff that didn't make the album and won't. But I'd say that was probably some of the funnest times I've had making a song. It was a lot of hard work as well, but the level of just openness and the different directions that I could go in, and different styles and genres that I was trying out, man, I felt limitless from there. And I never really had that with other albums that I've worked on. Have had a lot of fun with other albums, but Leisure Lane's gotta be the funnest.
Caleb, I'm gonna direct that question back to you too. What is your favorite song that you've heard so far? I know you haven't heard all of them, but
I haven't. It's I feel like it's between One Night and Rose.
The Rose. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Those two are definitely like two of the best
Very
ones
summer songs. Those are like that was my vibe with those, bros.
Yeah,
summer vibe.
We were on stream earlier when we were in between guests. We were just vibing out to that.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Songs.
Thank you guys.
I had some lights going on.
Yeah, he had his strobe lights going.
Hey, we were chilling with that.
That's awesome, bro. I appreciate that, man. No, both of those songs are definitely, you know, I made them to put people in the right, you know, mind state. Just feel good songs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely very summer vibes. I could see myself chilling on the beach listening to that.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm going for. I'd love. Hopefully, we'll all be out of this quarantine stuff pretty soon, and that will be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a little heads up before they end the quarantine, so I can get my summer bod back together.
I know, right, bro? Jesus, quarantine 15's real. Packing them on, bro.
Because I know you guys can hear my chair crying out for help over here. It's telling me every day, like, dude, you're gaining weight. I'm like, stop.
You're in that squeak for 11 hours. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh
man.
Yeah, man.
I'm just gonna ask chat if you everybody in chat, not many people left, but if you guys have any questions for Nat here. I'm assuming so. Nat, Daddy Nat, is that Nat your first name?
Yeah, so my first name is Nathaniel, and I was named after my great-great-grandfather, who also was named Nathaniel, but he went by Nat. And in our family, we call, like, my grandfather was Daddy Bob, his dad was Daddy Nat, his dad's dad was Daddy Nat the first. And that was, and I'm like the third, I guess. So yeah, man. But it's funny. You know, Nathaniel's always been my name, but I never really embraced my heritage around it until more recently, I think. So it's been kind of cool to, like, you know, dig into my roots a little bit, learn about my Texas heritage, and you know, the cool shit that my ancestors have done. So that was kind of the reason I decided to go with it. It felt authentic and, you know, also true to my heritage.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, that information is on your website as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
As well as his merch. Go get the merch.
That's right. Let me know. Hey. I appreciate you, bro.
We had someone in chat asking earlier, when this crazy time is over, where could we see you, like, out and about playing in public?
Yeah, man. So I had a show actually planned on May 1st. There was supposed to be one on May 1st at Scratch House, which is in Austin, Texas, and then Empire Control Room, which is another venue. I was supposed to be a little bit later in the summer. All that stuff has since been pushed out. But, you know, in general, You can see me in the Austin and surrounding areas for now. I have had a couple shows that I've been trying to book in LA and other places, so I don't know where all your audience is. But for the Austin area, Empire Control Room, Mohawk, places like this is usually where I will go play shows.
Wherever we can, me and Caleb. I don't know if you're down, Caleb, but I'd like to go.
I would definitely go.
Yeah, I would love to have you guys. Yeah, man. Cool. Y'all gotta hit me. I mean, dude. So, are you guys officially done with school yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
we're officially seniors now.
Officially seniors.
That's epic. That's epic. One more year, guys.
Yeah. One more, almost there.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, this is I always feel like this summer's gonna be weird, and I'm sure this was like the weirdest way to go in to your senior year. But I always think about like a lot of seniors who just graduated. Like that would be much more odd. You know what I mean? Like had kind of a weird last year of high school, guys.
Yeah.
Like we've talked to a lot of seniors like on the stream and off. Like they said, like it feels like they really didn't quite finish. It was like it got cut off mid dive.
Right.
And just like, oh yeah, you're done.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of my senior friends who graduated. We had Cedar Ridge, our high school, had their graduation on Thursday, this past Thursday, or yesterday.
Okay.
It is Friday. Okay. So they had their graduation on Thursday, and I was talking to one of my friends, and you know, I don't normally get super emotional, but it kind of made me a little emotional that I'll never get to see him again, you know. And I've only just met him this year, and the bond that we made, and we can never like say a proper farewell or goodbye.
Yeah, man. Well, you might see him again, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like you kind of it's tough, man, because that does happen. You know, you graduate, especially like the older seniors, people who aren't in your grade, like you'll become pretty close with peeps, and then you know they go to college somewhere else, or you know move away, or you both move away, and you know. I would imagine even if you run into them 10 years down the line, you guys will still hit it off. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It is weird, you know? It is weird because you're just always hanging out together to shit's changes. So
yeah, and then they're just gone. Especially now, it's like it feels even more like they're gone.
Yeah.
I know, man. I know. It's crazy.
Got another question from the chat. Will he collaborate with any other local artists?
For sure, man. I will say I'm a little bit picky with certain things, and I will, you know, I'm not going to release everything, but I'm always down to try, man. I'm always down to try to collaborate. And if anybody wants to hit me up, you can hit me at itsdaddynat@gmail.com. Send me that beat.
I linked the website in the chat as well. Your website.
I appreciate that, man.
Different things like that. I'll link. I don't know how Twitch works anymore. I forgot.
Too tired, but once I get a handle of the guitar, I'm gonna hit you up. We can make a song.
Yeah, man. Please do, bro. Please do. I think you gotta keep. Dude, I would just love. You know, I'm always a fan of trying to. You know, a lot of people will say no. A lot of artists would like somebody hits them up for a collab. It's like, hey man, give me a feature charge or something like that. You know what I mean? A lot of artists who do that. For me, if something great, who knows, bro? Like you have some of the greatest stuff ever that's been written, you know what I mean, came out of fluke circumstances like that. You know what I mean? So I'm always, you never know. You never know. Maybe that guitar riff that Caleb laid down was, you know, the next Wow by Post Malone or some shit. You know what I mean? You just never know, bro. Hey,
man, it could make it.
Never know. And if any place to do it, I mean, here in Austin is definitely one of the best places. Live music capital of the world.
A lot of people got some chops here, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I know. I say, especially growing up here and being around, like, because I know we used to go to Austin a lot. Being around all the music, it definitely breeds a love for music. So I'm like, every time I see someone out playing music, even if I don't know who they are, I definitely want to listen and see what they have, because always here it's going to be something good. I mean, we're in Austin, everything here is good. Everything's here unique.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way. I'm always, you know, you never know who you're going to run to or what you're going to listen to, or you know, how something might move you if you did listen to it.
It was a really big culture shock for me when I moved here and found all the different sounds and different artists that make great music. Like when I can't remember what festival I went to at all. It was when I first got here. I was really amazed. I was like, wow, Ohio sucks.
Oh man, that's funny as hell. Now there's some good music out of Ohio, but I feel you, man. Austin's definitely an eclectic kind of like melting pot of all these different genres. And I don't think we've peaked yet. You know what I mean? I don't think we've even come to, because there's been obviously a lot of great artists that come out of Austin, but I really do hope to put like my goal would be if I did, you know, achieve my dreams and just continue to achieve my dreams and continue to grow and get on some sort of platform level where I did have such a huge reach. You know, I want to have Austin on my back. Like I feel really strongly about that. And I think a lot of artists here who blow up don't do that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists who they still may rep Austin, but they'll end up moving to LA or they'll end up moving to New York. I'm pretty content staying here. I can fly to LA and New York anytime.
Yeah. We have another question from chat, if you don't mind. So thinking of Austin music, does he feel like he needs to be better than other people? Meaning, is there a competition level locally?
Absolutely. So whenever I was in college, the competition scene was strong, but it just wasn't nearly as strong as it was when I came to Austin. And so when I came to Austin, I just sort of, you know, you kind of, self-awareness is huge. So you really have to kind of like see what other people are doing around you and be like, man, that's like amazing. How am I going to ever pull off something on my own? Now you can't get too caught up in that, but I am a competitive person. I do want to thrive. So I'd say definitely, like, if you could live in a town, whether that be, and I think candidly, I think LA is even more competitive. I don't like the vibe out there, but like when I go there, I feel the energy where you're like, yo, like you got to step up to the plate. So I understand why people do that. I think Austin is just chill enough to where it's not like, it's real. You know what I mean? There's a lot of musicians here. They're not all just trying to get a bag and make a bunch of money or whatever. I think you get a little bit more of that in places like New York.
And that's one of the better things about Austin music. It's like everyone here is real. This is what they're trying to share with the world. And there's so many opportunities and big stage to show it. Like every year, South by Southwest and then ACL, of course.
For sure.
That's what it was.
ACL, yeah, there you go.
I've been to South by a couple times, and I've been to ACL once. Yep. And like at ACL, earlier in the day, they show the smaller artists straight out of Austin, and it's cool to listen to them have just that stage that like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people there just to listen to them, and maybe someone will catch on and be like, "Hey, this guy's pretty good."
Exactly, man. Austin definitely puts their own on for the most part, and I would say, yeah, man, South by ACL. So many cool opportunities, and Austin just has a cool factor that a lot of other people abroad, you say you're from Austin, they're like, man, that's awesome. You know what I mean? They it's a very liked place.
Yeah.
Especially.
Do you want to read the chat real quick? Sorry.
Oh yeah, got someone a question in the chat. Someone says, "I see the strings on the wall. Can we get a riff?"
Ah, shit. All right.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this.
Neither.
I don't know if this guy's in tune.
I was not expecting this.
I know, dude. Somebody was like, "Turn up." I'm like, "All right, yeah, whatever."
Yeah, it's like, all right, sure.
All right, just a rip. Is that cool? Like, just a little. We'll keep it brief.
Yeah, just a little something.
Whatever, man.
Oh man, this is not that good in tune, but oh well. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lazy daisy crazy, and I'm losing my mind. The pictures start to stare at me so much longer this time. You could say my own distraction, the thought of attraction that could change all the thoughts of all the ideas that I had.
Wow. Oh my God.
That was amazing.
That was incredible. I was not expecting that.
I know, something just to be like, all right, I'll play. And like just to pull that out.
Dude,
wow.
Dude, I did not anticipate that at all, but I do have a couple go-tos that I got to go to whenever I have to like pull the guitar out. I was like, I'll play a little something. But yeah, man, it's funny. Wow. I'm glad I got called out for that. Shout out to whoever called out me out in the chat.
That was my dad.
I'm glad you got called out too. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, and he was like, Caleb, could you take a look at the chat, please?
I just didn't want to ask because I don't feel like pressuring people to like do this, you know.
And someone said you pressured
there's
me.
There's a lot of people who probably would feel.
Yeah, it just feels awkward for me to like, hey, do this, like, you know.
No, I feel you.
Oh wow,
worked out.
You have a great voice.
Oh, that was awesome. That was
Thanks so much, man.
Like, we heard the riff going and we were like, okay, and then you started singing, and me and Caleb just looked at each other like.
Like, whoa.
Bro, it was so funny because I was playing the riff. I was like, oh man, this riff kind of it sounds okay. And I was like, I guess I better sing. I was like, let me like tone out some of that like lack of rusty strings or whatever they are.
Wow.
We are 5 minutes away from our 12-hour goal. 5 minutes away.
Dude, you guys have killed it, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This has been really fun, and would love to do this again sometime with you guys. I mean, what's your schedule for this show for the most part?
We go on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, sometimes.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. Okay, cool. Y'all really getting it in, bro.
Yeah, so when we first started out for the first 2 weeks, we really like screwed ourselves over, and we went every single day just to get content out there. We were trying to get content out there. We knew we would burn ourselves out, so then we took a week hiatus, and we've just been kind of chilling. Then we had the Mayor of Round Rock on, and then
no way,
the Mayor of Round Rock.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, that was a very cool moment.
How'd you pull that off?
I just hit him up.
Yeah, just
no way.
I just kept emailing his office, and then one day he responded. I was like, and
I didn't W right there, man.
And I didn't tell Logan I was doing it. So one day I was like, oh yeah, I landed the mayor. And he's like, what?
No
yeah.
way.
I was like, yeah, I've been talking to him for like a week.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I got a text one day like, I got the mayor. I was like, oh, okay.
Because I told him I'd do it as a joke, because we tried to get the principal of our school to come on and talk about the Rona, but she was like, nah, and I was like, fine, I'll get the mayor instead. I'll get someone bigger, and he started laughing, and I actually did.
Yeah,
that's amazing, bro. Nothing like somebody to give you a no for you to go pull something even crazier off.
We've had quite a few no's. Well, not quite a few, but
hey, man, you're better. You're gonna have way more no's than you're gonna have yeses.
So exactly. We just gotta keep swinging.
That.
Exactly, another comment from my dad. He says, "Daddy Nat, we're gonna blow you up. I'm very impressed, not just the music, but you as a person." And I want to reiterate on that. You are like the chillest, coolest person I've met in a long time. Just from like when we were DMing, like when we were DMing back and forth, I was like, yes, I want to talk to this guy and like just be chill with this guy. You know,
man, thank you so much. I try to treat people the way that not only I would want to be treated, but also just the way I'd treat you if I found you in real life. You know, I think a lot of people tend to be, especially on the internet, you know, they'll tend to kind of big time people a little bit, you know what I mean? Not respond, not say anything. So, I don't have time for that. And, you know, you do have time for it. So, so I appreciate you. I appreciate that you recognize that, man, because that's very intentional. And I want to be authentic, but I also want to, you know, be myself, you know, I want to be able to have conversations and feel like it would be if we were all chilling in the same living room together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also actually do have another question from a TikTok video. It's about your roommate's dog. Does he actually only respond to Spanish?
He does, man. He does, man. I was laughing so hard. So so my roommate's dog, my roommate's Mexican. He was born in Mexico and moved to the States afterwards. Anyway, his family has had this dog like his whole life, and they've always just said, you know, spoke to the dog in Spanish. So I thought that was hilarious when we first moved in. And after a couple weeks of it, I was like, I got an idea here. And so my roommate's now, his name's Mauricio. And I was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's try a little video out. And he was like, And his name's Jonas, so I'm just like, Jonas, Jonas. It's just like, Jonas in Spanish. I was just like, this is amazing. I gotta capture this moment. So maybe some more that'll come from that. Dog content always does well there.
Yeah.
Like the other one with the how my roommate's dog drinks water and just slaps the bowl.
Dude, exactly, man. I love. It's so true though, man. Just all over the place.
So my dad's pretty much the only one commenting right now, chatting.
Yeah, he seems very engaged. I love it.
Yeah,
that's good.
He said, and tell him I'm an old man, meaning I don't listen to much local music, especially new stuff.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I'm trying to make music that's cool for everybody.
We just hit 12 hours.
Oh, we did.
We did. 12 hours. Let's go.
Nailed it, boys. Nailed it,
Boom.
boys. That's crazy, man. That is
All right,
crazy. What's the longest y'all done? Yeah, I know. It's
like,
yeah, I think the longest.
What's the longest y'all done besides this? Yeah.
2 hours, I think.
2, maybe 2.5.
Oh my god!
I think it was 2, because we were doing a podcast and we were just like chilling with chat, and we were like, "Hey, we're gonna have some friends over and play some card games. You just want to keep it going?" So we went for like 2.5 hours, but 12 hours.
Yeah, that's a jump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, guys,
like 2 energy drinks.
Yeah, man, you're gonna crash big hard.
It's 5. My empty bottles are up there.
I got stuff.
I have my energy drinks, my gallon. I had a bunch of protein cookies.
Can I actually give a shout out real quick to the Beast Guy 123? He's been here pretty much the entire time.
Yes,
pretty much the entire time. He had to leave. He had to leave for like a half an hour, and he also won one of our giveaways.
He did. He won one of 2 giveaways.
Yeah, so we made a couple T-shirts just to like our little.
He was one of two lucky people to win this shirt.
Yo, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so we'll get his information.
I got my
our graphic designer Celia won the other shirt, so it's really cool.
Right on, man. That's
Sorry,
cool.
go
You guys
ahead
doing giveaways. That's a smart move.
Yeah.
I printed it myself.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah, and so
do you have a printer?
Yeah, because my stepmom.
That's whatever.
Yeah, my stepmom. That's her business, and
That's
I asked.
Awesome. Bro.
I asked her one day. I was like, "Hey, can you show me how to do this?" I printed out the logo, slapped it on there.
Yeah.
My guy, that's awesome.
So we made shirts with our first logo, and it's not really.
It wasn't legal.
A legal logo.
We starting
out. When we were starting
you got to do what you got to do
just,
sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my Ted wants you to hold up the shirt and explain the logo.
Explain the logo. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a big 2 in the middle. On this side is me. The other side's Logan.
Yeah. Dude's talking.
Hey, I love that.
Then, yeah. Our friend Celia, who has starting a graphic design thing, made that for us. So, yeah.
I was about to say, that's really cool. You guys drawers as well?
Oh, well, there was something else in the giveaway. I drew.
Oh, you dropped it.
I did drop it. I kind of ruined it.
You can repaint it.
I'm going to repaint it. So also during this, I've been picking up painting as well.
And I know, man. That's awesome.
I drew a Pepe meme.
Hey, dude, that's really good.
Caleb, you should grab the other ones that you have. Are they hanging?
Oh, they're all the way up there. I'm not going to get out.
Oh, okay.
I also drew Rick and Morty, but they're up there.
I love it, man. I was going to say, you got that really cool cartoon style. I love that.
So we got the talented one and me. Pretty much.
Hey, man, the consistent one. How about that? You know, give yourself some credit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Caleb also got the mayor, so maybe he's.
I mean,
hey,
I got Habitat.
Logan got you. Logan got you and Habitat.
I got Habitat.
There you go. Y'all put really, numbers on the board.
It was really just a shot in the dark when I DM'd you. I was like, "There's no way," but I'll try it. And then I got a message back within like minutes, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
I know, dude. I saw that. I was like, I literally saw it on his phone. I was like, "Sure," you know. I mean, and that's the cool thing about this quarantine stuff is it has allowed me to a lot more time to doing stuff, you know, creatively, and you're remote, so you know, a lot like I had to travel up to Round Rock for this. You know what I mean? That might have been a different story. So it's really cool to be able to pull it all together, and for you guys to invite me, man, that's even cooler.
Of course. It was
yeah, man.
It was such an awesome feeling, like finally getting you on.
Hey man, no, I was about to say it's probably even a better feeling to just have wrapped a 12-hour, like to hit your goal
Yeah.
and to smack that all together,
Sigh
man. Like,
of relief. And
I bet, man. I bet.
I don't know what our donations were at. The last time we knew for a fact it was 150. I don't know what it's at now. I'll get the summary.
Yeah, that was like an hour ago or so. It probably's gone up just a little bit, but either way, we hit triple digits. So
Madison.
That's awesome.
Back. Just as we're about to. Yeah. And I saw on your Instagram that you posted our poster, and I was like, okay.
Hey man,
That's
appreciate
dope.
y'all. No, no, that's showing love, man. You guys showed me love, so gotta share it back.
We had to
course.
revise that poster to make sure that your name was on it.
Hey,
Like
thank
3
you though.
different
Thank you
times.
though. I know I was kind of like a last minute it sounded like I was like, it's like, hey, I wonder if we can get this guy on here as well. So is it 12 hours, man? So how long did you guys plan this?
A week.
yeah, like a week in advance.
Okay, wow.
We
Not
have
bad.
we have script papers that we've been going off of for interview questions. The
Yeah.
color coordinator.
I got you.
Caleb. He actually came to my
The
house
man.
this morning to drop these off, and I walked outside with my speaker in my hand, listening to your
Blessed.
music and a cup of
That's-
coffee in the other.
I wish I
Hey,
would
that's
recorded it right when I stepped out of my car. I was like, "What is he at?"
awesome.
We like to make little skits as well, like when we're going.
Whenever
I
we're in
love
the
that.
same room.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's rad.
Yeah, but what we had this idea 2 weeks ago, and then that same week we contacted Habitat, and then we started loosely planning because we weren't sure if it was
Sure.
going to get finalized. But once we got a response, then we hit the ground running.
That was,
And only a few days out, it was this Monday that we finally got confirmation, really.
Yeah.
And then this all
Wow.
we grinded, and on piggybacked with the last week of school, getting all of our work filled in, so we passed. And I mean, we got it done.
I was about to say, man, yeah, that's like there's a lot of stuff going on for you guys for
Yeah.
this week.
We need to start recording. We've been talking about this. We're going to start recording our sessions of editing or just talking about different things for the podcast because we do some really dumb stuff.
Yeah, it gets really silly at points.
Yeah.
But that stuff's like, people want to see that, they want to see
Yeah.
the lifestyle behind it. They want to see the be real, so to speak. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Which is kind of what we are trying to do with this podcast, is just make it as raw as possible. No editing, no cutting, anything like that. We're just going with it.
Mhm.
I love it, man.
Mhm.
There's really not a lot of
edit
people
a
who are
little
willing
bit.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We edit
yeah.
clips.
Sure. No, I saw some clips on your IG. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like I was like, it was very well done, I thought.
Yes,
Were
the
they-
clips on the IG.
Yeah. I can't remember which IG. Was it mine or the actual podcast?
Two dudes talking, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
One of those was not my
I thought
proudest
they were
moment.
funny. They were just like you guys going like back and forth. You're just like, and I was like, well, these are just two dudes talking. So
It really
no
is.
way.
Am I back?
Losing
Yeah.
the mic.
Okay.
nice.
We
Cool.
got you.
I heard it cut out. Yeah, there's a clip on there of Caleb's not so proudest moment. I don't know if you saw that one.
I don't know. I might have to go rewatch them now to like make sure.
It's the second to last one, the first video. On there.
I was just like a little. I was
Oh,
very.
no, I
I
didn't
was.
watch that one.
I was very offended by what Logan said to me, and it was just a unnatural response because we try not to curse on here, but it just shot out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. It was, and it's bleeped on the Instagram. I wonder. Here, I'll just play it real quick.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I'm
bleeped on
sorry,
the-
guys. I've cursed all over this whole thing.
No,
Oh, don't worry about it.
So I can't remember what we were talking about. I think we were talking about height.
We're
or
talking about
whatever.
height for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got it, but I mean that's the podcast, and we just get to random topics. We're talking about height.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I gotta redo it.
I was talking about how I have a long head.
I think 5'6" is right because my entire head goes over her.
Your head is what? No, your head's like a foot.
Like 5 inches.
You have a long head.
You.
I'm sorry. I had to play it. I had to.
Dude, that's epic. That is epic.
So
No,
yeah,
man. I mean, but people love raw stuff like that. People love the
Yeah.
unfilteredness. You know what I mean?
mhm.
A lot of, I mean,
If we cut this stuff out, though, we are definitely going to get demonetized because of we were playing music as well.
we're playing music most of the time, but at a certain point, we're not looking for monetization, really.
No, not at all.
I
But
feel you. Eventually
we
you'll
got-
need it, but I know what you mean. You're trying to build a fan base right now.
right, and there was a podcast that we did a while back. Not a while back. We haven't been around for that long. It was probably 2-3 weeks ago, and Caleb was like, "If someone donates like $5, Logan will dance," and I'm like, "Why?" So someone donated, and I did it, and I danced. So Caleb played a song for like 20 seconds, if that.
20
Put it up
seconds.
on YouTube. Immediate copyright strike.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And we weren't even
Rough,
upset,
man.
but
And
we're
they're-
just
and they're
laughing.
really rough.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why we
Unfortunately, I
stay
haven't
towards
had-
Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is great for that. I mean, it's, copyrights still serious business for whatever reason. So, you know what I mean? YouTube's pretty strict about it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Some things you just can't really play. It's also stupid about YouTube is that you can't say coronavirus or COVID-19 or you'll get demonetized.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
so weird.
I mean, it's yeah, it seems seems a little off, like they have some ulterior motives or something, but
Oh yeah. Well, it's owned by Google as well.
exactly.
There's a little.
So not only do they already know everything about us, but they're also limiting what we can say.
That's right. Yeah. Era of information, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think, Logan, do you have anything left?
I
Yeah.
I would
Same.
love to just
We
like
good?
talk, you know what I mean? But like I get it. We've done a bunch. We hit our mark.
You guys got it, man.
Thankful for having
12 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you guys so much for having me, man. This was cool. Very you guys are like I said, like I can tell you guys have done this several times now because I feel like you got the reps in. It's a whole lot more natural than other podcasts that I've been on before. So it's cool, man. I appreciate y'all for having me. We got to hang out sometime soon after all this quarantine shenanigans gets,
Yeah, man.
over.
Of course.
I'm down 100%.
Too.
Yeah, man.
And once again,
Well.
thank you so much for coming on. I personally didn't expect you to respond even that quickly, because most people don't. Of
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
course, of course. It was
Caleb,
a
you
pleasure.
normally wrap these things up.
All right.
Wrap it up.
Well, that concludes
Yeah.
our sixth and final interview of the night. For the people that have been here from the beginning, if you've been here for an hour, even if
Heck
you've
yeah.
been here for 30 seconds, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been
12
an
hours and 12
honor.
minutes.
2 hours and 12 minutes. It's been an honor and an absolute pleasure that all of our work is going to a great cause, and we'll get back to you on the actual numbers of financial donations, but you guys just being here is a donation in itself. So once again, we'll catch you guys on the next time.
Deuces.